Alright, so we got the ScanGaugeII mounted in our car in a convenient location. We also routed the cables and we plugged it into the OBD2 port. So last step we need to do before it's fully functional is to set it up for the particular vehicle we're in. Grab the owner's manual, look up the fuel tank size as well as the engine displacement, usually in liters. The vehicle we're using today is a 2004 Scion XB, which has a displacement of 1.5 liters. So that's what we're going to use. The car's off right now, so ScanGauge is asleep. To wake it up, press the lower right hand button, which is called the home button. It has a red circle around it. This is the home screen. From here, we press more, followed by setup. First thing we do is set up units. In here, we can set it to miles or kilometers, Fahrenheit or Celsius, gallons or liters, PSI, kPa. Set it to what you want, and then press the home button again to save it. Go back into the setup by pressing more, setup. So we talked about the engine size. We're going to hit engine. And here it's already set for a 1.5 liter, but if you had something else, either press the right or left buttons to make it go up or down. Get it to your particular size, hit save. Go back into more, setup. Now we want to set up the fuel. We have two things in here that we need to worry about: the type and the tank size. Start with the type. This vehicle runs on gas, so gas is selected. We could also use diesel. There's an A and a B setting. We could use a hybrid, or we could use LPG. I'm going to set it to gas and hit save. Going back into setup, selecting fuel. Now I'm going to do tank size. This vehicle has a slightly larger than 11-gallon tank, so I rounded down to 11 gallons. This way, if I use the ScanGauge's settings to determine when I'm going to run out of gas, if there's any air, it's going to be in my favor and I won't be out of gas. So I set it to 11 gallons and hit save. Last step, and this is something you're going to do more on the road. So go back into setup, and there's a speed correction. Different tire and wheel combinations might cause the stock speedometer to be off, and the ScanGauge speedometer could be completely different than all those. So if you have something like a GPS, or if you have one of the new 3G iPhones, there's some free apps you can download, and while driving down the road, have somebody monitor the GPS to see what speed you're at. You can then give it a negative or positive correction here to match the speed here with the actual speed displayed on the ScanGauge. So as you drive down the road, it might say 47 here, might say 50 here, and if your GPS says 50, you just arrow it until you get to 50 miles an hour and hit save. And that's basically all it takes to set up the ScanGauge for your car. Just a few quick steps.